Welcome back to the 30-day Jumpstart. We are on day 21. You can tell that I broke up my production plan because now my hair is straight. So I'm back to finish strong. I know this is often the point where people start to flag off in this process because I've done this length of challenge before and I've looked at the metrics and people start to just get tired. So I'm here to tell you, I get tired too. I take a break. That's totally okay. Remember that you can binge this, you can go through it at your own pace. You don't have to be here with me every day, but the process itself can take a while. So this video was not on my initial plan of attack, but I'm including it because I had a week off and started to think about what you guys have already learned and what concerns you might have as you're going through this process. And the biggest concern that I think you might have right now as you're watching these videos is, oh my God, does every piece of content have to take that long? Right? Like, we just did 20 videos just to get to the publish. If I have to do that for every single video, I don't have time to do this, right? So if you're feeling that way, like, this is just too time consuming of a process, let me talk you through that. Okay, so not every piece of content that you create is going to need this much work. I think of it like when I first started swimming, right? Where it was like I started with the doggy paddle and I didn't really know exactly what to do and my feet weren't very efficient and I didn't know how I was supposed to kick. And then over time, as you know, I've done more swimming, I've watched my kids' swimming lessons, I started to figure out, oh, you keep your hands together, you go faster. If you kick your legs like this, if you learn different strokes, you go faster. And that doesn't mean you have to be able to do the individual medley to enjoy swimming. You don't need to know all the strokes, but every time you get in the pool, you get a little faster, you get more efficient. So when you think about what it's going to be like for you to create more content, think about taking that 20 video process that I just walked you through and turn it into a checklist, and make sure that as you're going through this, you follow a process and every time you'll get a little bit faster. For me and my team, the way that we do this is that I will go through, I'll do the keyword research, I'll do the outline, and then I'll record it. I'll hand it over to my video editor, Sam. And then when that's done, she'll hand it over to our content creator, Jocelyn, who will transcribe it and write the blog post and get the social images up and the blog images created. Just make sure that it all gets packaged up, get it into the email format, and then I'll write the email intro. This is something that once you have the plan, once you know what's expected of you in this process, you can make it more efficient over time. You can make the process work for you. I just did blogs for years and years before I added video into it and started this YouTube channel because I didn't have time to do the YouTube channel, right? So don't bite off more than you can chew, but instead come up with a process that you can make yourself really efficient at. And then as you go through the process, you can make it more complex over time, but start with something simple. I do the keyword research. I create an outline. I write a post. I optimize the post. I publish. If you want to do that every week, you can. If you want to batch your keyword research so that way you can have a plan of attack going into it, that's the way that I usually teach it for students in my Attract and Activate program, where I help them batch the keyword research and come up with a full content strategy. So you can just sit down and do that in about 2 hours, as opposed to, sitting down every week and restarting that process from scratch. But as you're going through this process and learning from these videos, just think about ways that you can make your own content creation process more efficient, and know that it will absolutely not take that much time forever. Every time you do this, it'll get faster and it'll get easier. So there's my pep talk for the day. I will be back in the next video to talk to you all about Google Search Console, but sometimes, 2/3 of the way through a challenge, you just need a pep talk. So you are brave, you are strong, you are valuable, and the work that you're putting out there is awesome and deserves to be found by your ideal clients, and they are going to fall in love with you. And I'll show you in the next video how we can use the Google Search Console free tool in order to find out what you're ranking for. So I'll see you in that video.